Today I'm making a high protein pasta dish for you that you can make any day of the week. It's quick and easy and you're going to love it. I'm using ground beef today, but feel free to use ground turkey or even used ground bison. The basis of our sauce will be Rao's marinara sauce, but we're going to thicken it up and make it creamy, but we're going to add protein by using cottage cheese. This will help keep the fat content down, but it'll also add a nice amount of protein. I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm going to show you how to make it right after my silly chef joke. Why did the fettuccine noodle not want to fight the egg noodle? Because he said he wasn't stroganoff to beat him. We're going to start off our dish with a little food prep. I'm going to take a medium-sized yellow onion, and we're going to give it the superfine dice. Next, we'll prep up about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 garlic cloves, because I love garlic, and this makes the dish delicious. You're going to want to use the superfine dice on this also. Now, this is how you want your garlic to look. I highly recommend that you get all of your ingredients out, measured out so that you're good to go. It'll make your whole recipe go a lot quicker. Let me remind you, you can get the written recipe below the video in the description area. In a large frying pan, we're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then we're going to add our onions, and we're going to saute this over medium heat. You want to cook these for about 7 minutes until they get a little translucent. At this point, we'll add the hamburger, and I'm adding about 1.5 pounds of hamburger because I want it meaty, and we're just going to cook this until the meat is no longer pink. You definitely want to break down the meat with your spatula so that it's nice and small and really mix in those onions. Add a little bit of salt and you're good to go. Once the meat is no longer pink, we'll add in the garlic and mix that in for about 1 minute. Now, if the ground beef or turkey or whatever you're using has too much grease left in the bottom of the pan, you want to drain it out as best you can so that it doesn't make your sauce greasy. Now we'll pour in the Rao's sauce and stir everything together. Here's my little trick on getting all of the sauce out of the jar. Just pour in a little bit of chicken broth into it and shake it up and pour it all in. We need to season up our sauce, so I make my own Italian seasoning blend, and I'll leave a link for you in the description. You're going to want to use a couple of teaspoons of this for sure. So I'll sprinkle that in. All these spices really make the dish, so you've got to put them in there. And then I love to go with some fresh basil, so I'm going to chop some of that up right now. So stack your leaves and then roll it up into a cylinder. This technique is called chiffonade, and it makes nice little ribbons of your basil, and then you're going to go through and you're going to cut it the other direction so the pieces aren't too long. This is going to go right into our sauce, and don't be afraid that it's too much because believe me, it's not, and it makes everything so much better in my opinion. Before I put the lid on to simmer this, I'm going to add some chopped up zucchini. This is totally optional. You could also add in any other vegetables you want that need to be cooked a little bit. One time I even added some cauliflower rice that I had already cooked, and that just blended in super easy. You didn't even know it was there. So this would be great if you had kids that didn't like to eat too many vegetables. I'm going to simmer this for as long as I can while I'm doing some other things, and we're going to cover it. You got to make sure you cover it. Now for the cottage cheese. I'm using Daisy's because, well, the ingredients are so clean, so I like to use that. All right, we're going to toss this in the blender, and we're going to add a little bit of chicken broth, and make sure you mix it up until it's nice and smooth and creamy. All right, it must be time for chef joke number 2. Why did the cow join the gym? Because she wanted to train her calves. Now back to our recipe. We're going to boil some water so we can cook our noodles. I'm using gluten-free noodles here, but feel free to use any kind you like. Once your water's boiling, go ahead and cook your noodles according to the package directions. When the noodles are done, then we'll just go ahead and drain them, and I'm going to pour them back into the same pot, and I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil so that they don't stick together because I'm not going to pour them in the sauce just yet. Now it's time to add our cottage cheese mixture. So I'm going to pour this right in and just stir it in. Once it's well incorporated, we'll go ahead and pour those noodles right in. Now I didn't pour them all in because I felt like it was a little too much, so do what you think is best. Mix this in well and we're ready to eat. Well, almost. I like to garnish this up with a nice little grating of Parmesan cheese, nice and fresh, and a little more chopped basil. I just can't get enough of that basil. Okay, here's my question. Who wants this for dinner tonight? And guess what's for dessert? My chocolate dream cake. Oh my God, this is the best cake ever. Click the link on the screen and it'll take you right to the recipe. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's protein pasta dish. Nice and quick and easy for any day of the week. If you loved it, let me know by smashing the like button. All right, we'll see you back here next week for another delicious Rockin' recipe.